Hiya Chris, great to meet up with you and do some more work on your game, particularly in light of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through recently. It's great to see you back on a range with a golf club in your hand and swinging it, to be fair, much better than I think you anticipated. However, we did work on some key areas for you. I'll just go over these quickly. First of all, we were getting the upper centre a little bit too much out in front of the golf ball, and not enough side bend to the right at setup. So this lead shoulder here getting a little bit too far out in front, which meant that as you made your backswing, you were very much on top of the ball, maybe a little bit too much to be fair, creating a very steep angle of attack. Unless you then make compensations, you couldn't stay there. The lead shoulder starts to drift over to get you in a more appropriate position. The head tilts back, and then there's a little bit of a drop back and a flip on the way through. So what we tried to create initially was a little bit more of a side bend to the right, and we did that by pushing, just adjust that, I beg your pardon, by pushing the hips forward a little bit at setup. So a little bit more hips forward. And we talked about, I do apologise, my computer seems to be having one here. We also talked about controlling what the arms were doing on the way through. So we've pushed the hips forward initially to create some side bend to the right, to make it easier when we get fatigued to keep the hips moving progressively forward during the downswing, because that's the piece that you're going to struggle the most with. So we're going to put that in there first, meaning that if we do get tired, we're still going to get the hips forward. Well, that was a particularly bad shot, but you didn't really like the feels that you were getting. We then talked about, just stop that one. We then talked about using the hips differently, allowing the hips to turn, allowing this left knee to come in, but as it's coming in, it's got to continuously flex forward towards the target line. And as you do that, that allows the hips to turn on a tilted angle. You can see hips turning, but more importantly, turning on a tilted angle. Now when the hips turn on a tilted angle, that allows the left arm to travel further during the backswing, and also allows the lead shoulder to work down for longer. So the two things that you struggle with here, lead shoulder works down, 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 and then starts to level up too much as the left knee stays out too much and not really flexing forward. You're almost sort of restricting the hip turn a lot on that one, and as a result, the left arm doesn't travel far enough. So create a little side bend at setup by pushing the hips forward, maybe an inch. Then allow the hips to turn. Try and make as much hip turn as you can, allowing the left knee to come in and flex forward. And then the drill then is to just hit a lot of shots, creating that sort of impact feel that you want. Push the handle forward, because that's where we want the handle to impact. So we've got the weight forward and the handle forward. We're trying to isolate P7, and that maxed out feeling we're just now trying to maintain through the hip to help control where the low point of the swing takes place. You can see when you do that, the wrists coming through the golf ball are really, really solid. No independent flipping at the hands. Hips moving continuously forward. Body stretching out nicely, right heel banking in, etc, etc. So a lot of good stuff going on there. A little bit of side bend to the right, free up the hips, keep controlling what's happening at P7 in relation to the handle of the club and the location of your body weight. Good luck with it. If you need anything, feel free to give us a shout. Pop in for a brew anytime you're passing, and I look forward to doing some more work with you in the coming weeks. Well done.